Everyone mentioned today is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, and everything I discuss here is theory until proven fact, even if it is.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life. I never miss, that's facts, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light. Ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna sing my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on the shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
Hey guys, how you going? I'm back. Sorry I didn't get back yesterday. I had a mum situation, sorry. In case people don't know, I have a mum with Alzheimer's, so sometimes that's why I'm not uploading on a regular schedule anyway. And yesterday, I'm sorry about scheduling this right before 9 o'clock yesterday morning. How you going, Deb? Menacing. Who else have we got in here? It's going to jump on me in a minute. Shannon. How you going? Out to lunch? Ruff. Alex, how you going? Good to see you. Oh, let's go back. J1, how you going? Janelle, how you going? Michelle, how you going? Who else we got in here? Right, that's where I was up to. Black Hat Music, how you going? Yeah, you've got everyone's got a spanner. Everyone who's been here a while is getting a spanner just so they don't get censored because people's comments are being censored. How you going, Phoenix? You didn't like that tone? Oh, Shannon, it wouldn't be a show without you, mate. Seriously. You know that. Oh, we miss you when you're not here, Shannon. Okay, let's get into it. Hopefully my throat holds. I've already got a tickle in my throat. I didn't have one yesterday because I didn't talk this much. Okay. Awakened Outlaw said, if you thought the Epstein files were bad, just wait until the public learns about former Congressman Anthony Weiner's laptop and what the 650,000 emails on it found on it contain, many of them from Hillary Clinton and his wife, Huma Abedin. Yeah, the insurance one. It's worth noting that Weiner, a convicted sex offender, has a predilection for underage girls. As for his ex-wife Huma, she was long-term top aide to Hillary Clinton, where she served as a close confidant advisor and chief of staff for over 25 years. Let me know if you're having trouble seeing the pattern yet. This is 100% going to get way worse. You think Epstein was bad? Wait till we get to Anthony Weiner's laptop. Okay, and the reason I put that up is because this has just happened. You remember that I've been mentioning the last few weeks that Hillary and Bill Clinton have been subpoenaed and they failed to turn up. They refused, actually. MJ Truth Ultra said, holy shizzles, the Benghazi door was just reopened. It's okay, and this is another thing I've been saying for years now. They're going to get them for other crimes first, okay? The lower crimes are going to lead to the higher crimes. Just hang in there, people. Okay, the Benghazi doors just reopened. AG Pam Bondi announced the arrest of Zabar al-Bakush, a key player behind the Benghazi attack. Hillary Clinton famously once said about Benghazi, what difference at this point does it make? There's songs about that. Well, it makes a difference to Donald Trump. It makes a difference to those families. Sing, birdie, sing. Yeah, let this bird here sing. Come on. Going to find themselves in lots of trouble. So can you see things happening yet? Can you see how things are leading to other things? Like, these are going to lead to other things. You've got that, the Venezuelan, what's his name? He'll be singing. They'll all be singing now. And they're already turning on each other. MAGA Voice said, breaking Trump stuns the world by bringing the leader of Benghazi attack to America. Finally, justice for what Hillary Clinton did. God bless President Trump. And this one, we're going to get into the Epstein, don't worry. And there's a lot. Mickey Willis official said, are the Epstein files just a distraction? Probably. Yes and no. And all attention-seeking stealing events are used to distract from other events, like one domino falling over the next. That's why I'm reporting on these things. But that doesn't mean the files are unimportant. What we're watching unfold here is arguably the most significant secret society disclosure that's ever happened. If learning the truth about these dark and disturbing realities leaves you feeling sick to your stomach, that makes perfect sense. We're experiencing a long-awaited and much-needed global purge. When you consume something toxic, your body is designed to reject it. I think mine's doing something like that at the moment. The human organism has been force-fed poison for far too long. Everything rank, rotten and rancid is coming to the surface to be purged and flushed into the sewer where it belongs. While it might feel as if we're getting sick, the reality is we're getting well. Together, stay strong, pass it along. And put on the armour of God, for goodness sake, when you're going through this stuff. Okay, Matt Wallace said, oh my God, a video was just posted from the Epstein files showing a large system of underground tunnels. They're going to take this video down so fast. Tunnels under Epstein Island? You don't say. Bit blurry. Oh, come on, focus, guys, focus. That's really bad quality video. Now I can see a little bit. I hope you can see that better than I could, but yeah. Yeah, Elon Musk posted this with a laughing face. Jennifer Akuri said conspiracy theorists right now. What's it? Okay, we know the music, right? Yeah, we're just bopping along, right? That's us right now. Or should be us right now anyway. MJ Truth Ultra said, while I believe Epstein, mainly Maxwell, did have ties to Mossad and other agencies, this document has the same source ID as the one CHS that claimed Trump was an Israel spy based on his opinion. Translation, the CHS is Chuck Johnson. Headline, USA can reveal the FBI informant's identity. Charles Johnson, a controversial figure with a long history in the right-wing movement. Through the report in the Epstein files, although the report in the Epstein files is redacted, Headline USA has independently obtained a separate FBI report featuring allegations made by Johnson when he was an FBI informant. The two reports are from the same field office containing similar details and have the same source ID. And it's in response to Kim.com, who said Epstein confirmed he was an Israel spy. It is unknown. This piece of evidence, is that confirming that he said it? I don't know. Anyway, just giving you a bit of the other side of what's going on as well, because people are saying he was an Israeli spy, that, you know, he did call people goyim. So it remains to be seen. And I've tried looking at the files, by the way. I'll show them at the end. Joshua Reed Eccles said someone asked why the DOJ released some Epstein files that mentioned Trump rather than continuing to cover up all of them. I think this reply is plausible. It's a complete red herring. It's bait. It's simple. They release all the files, never mind they've barely released half of the total, and claim the 4+ million remaining docs have to remain confidential. Leave his name unredacted in there because 1, people knew he'd be mentioned, so it would be suspicious if he wasn't, and 2, it's mostly all 2025 documents tied to a tip line where people could call, email and mail whatever. And they probably know that most of the leads are made up or unsubstantiated, so they can easily disprove them and then claim, see, it's all nothing burger. There's nothing here. It's a major distraction tactic. The real stuff is either fully redacted or not even close to being released. Meanwhile, everybody focuses on combing through these thousands of documents bearing his name and spending all their energy on that, quoting things that will later get easily debunked. While the real horror is elsewhere, don't fall for it. Well, that's what the Democrats are trying to do, so there you go. Okay. This, I do think I read this one the other day. Did I? Did I read about how J.P. Morgan and the Gates Foundation turned biology into an investable? Yeah, I did, actually. I believe I did. Okay, let's go through until I pick up from where I left off. Sorry, guys. If you get motion sickness, look away now. Mark Carney, I mentioned that. That one. Yep, The Thrilling Hunt. Yep, that one. A lot of people I mentioned. We can go for a search in a minute when I'm finished. Yep, the Bitcoin thing. We saw that. Yep, we did say that. We saw that. Sorry, guys, I'm getting there. Give me a sec. Okay, did I read this one? I think I might have. I might have read this one already. 2 channels, 1 architecture. It's got that project molecule again. Yeah, I think I did complete governance. Yeah, I think I did read that one. If I get to the end and I've hearted it, yes, I did. Okay, let's start from here. The adventurous souls said now as the Epstein files emerge, the pain in Princess Diana's eyes tells a story many fail to understand. She knew from the start. Just look at her eyes. We know she knew. That's why she's dead. Hey, Cheryl Lee, how you going? Susan, how you going? Okay, concerned citizens said, meanwhile, today outside of Buckingham Palace, home to the royal family in London, protesters now demand King Charles come forward with what he knows about his brother, Prince Andrew and Jeffrey Epstein, following the latest file releases. King Charles no more than you can even dream of in your worst nightmare. There you go. People are protesting outside of, what is it, the Buckingham Palace. I forgot what it was called for a minute there. How could I forget? Oh, and this one I did show briefly, but I'm going to do it. Liz Churchill, an anonymous redacted email dated April the 6th, 2021, the Epstein document archives. The dude playing Biden ain't Biden. Real Biden was an evil, sick, angry man who abused children, including his own children. That's an actor with a freaking mask. And look, they can put anything in there. Sean Atwood is in the Epstein files. Okay. As the reporter who went to Ghislaine Maxwell's residence and knocked on the door. Okay? Now, I don't like Sean Atwood. I don't hate him, but I don't like him. But if he's not in the Epstein files in a bad way, I'm going to tell you. Oh, dear me. Okay. Liz Churchill, remember this? In 1992, Sinead O'Connor tore up a photo of Pope John Paul II on Saturday Night Live and shouted, "Fight the real enemy," to protest over the church's cover-up abuse by priests. Below, Epstein and Maxwell are blessed by the Pope she calls out. Ooh, nice. Remember that? Isn't she? She's dead. Is she dead now, or she? Oh, I can't remember if she passed away. Okay, Dr. Russell McGregor said in Australia, taxpayer-funded deep state news organisations are completely ignoring the Epstein files. I wonder why. Yep, they can't report on it. Well, Salty Cracker was the one who said, you know, who hasn't been named in the Epstein files. Some people say he is. I'm sure, look, remember when the FBI had this for years and Trump was saying that they've pretty much poisoned the well? Let's see. We'll keep going anyway. Bethany O'Leary said Epstein file bombshell. A 2017 email from Bill Gates' BGC3 think tank lists a pandemic strain simulation as a deliverable forward directly to Epstein. Years before COVID, the same elite networks tied to child exploitations were gaming worldwide crisis behind closed doors. Event 201, anyone? If you still think this is random, you are not paying attention. Okay, what did they say? Bill, Larry and I have been working on deliverables or my time at BGC3 since you and I spoke at Larry's request. I've spoken with Roger, Mark, Chris, Trevor. Can't quite see what that says. Some bosses, owner. Everyone has offered guidance and thoughts and ideas as Larry works to put together any required documentation. We are trying to make sure this time valued to all. I don't know, 2 areas where I'm interested in terms of scope domestic health and neurotech brain science. I propose these as deliverables. Please let Leonard know what you think. Deliverables to improve access and secure PERS something stealth. Oh my God. Blueprint and recommendation for a zero knowledge proof based digital system to secure private personal health information. The people that are running the New World Order are linked to Jeffrey Epstein, in other words. We know that. Andrew Brigden said Zelensky's name tied to Epstein-linked sex trafficker Brunel. Zelensky's misspelled name pops up in an email accusing him of being complicit of human trafficking in Ukraine via Jean-Luc Brunel, the French model scout who supplied girls to Epstein. I did warn you. Did Zelensky say that he was going to stop the trafficking of children and women? Why Is the media so quiet that Ukraine is involved in the Epstein trafficking ring? They all sent money, remember? Our governments all sent money. Oh, she died in 2023. Oh, God love her. Hey, Cassandra, how you doing? Not a number said the Epstein files suggest Biden faced the firing squad in 2019, that Biden, that was president 2020, 2024, was an actor. Central casting? Oh, and did you really think I was so stupid for sending the $100 payment first? Good luck trying to erase that from the banks. Because when they knock on your door, that timestamp was running on QFS and Asara Jasara. Let me Google that for you. What? What is this? Because here's what to expect next. Maritime laws coming and the selling of owning of humans and human souls is over. There is factual evidence on the method of operation of how law and legal proceedings will work. We've already been living in maritime law. I do encourage you to watch the video to understand how common laws are going away. So, blank, quit fiddling your, cat, and call blank. And who has so much info that will incriminate you that when he deletes it, we will find it on the quantum system that this great gentleman blank has made very clear in the video above. Hint, Biden is not your current president. The masked malfunctions on Biden are getting worse each day on purpose. This will end badly for blank, who is posing with a effing clone on Facebook. The dude playing Biden ain't Biden. Real Biden was an evil, sick, angry man who abused children, including his own. That's an actor with an effing mask. We've been over this 1,000 times. It's never going to change. Biden is shot, 2019 firing squad. Make of that what you will. And always do your own research and don't believe anything you hear or see, okay? Till you do your own research. As always, the Epstein files said this is disgusting. Epstein's ex, Eva Dubin, 2010. Come visit next week. My 15-year-old daughter is having 5 friends over. What? Eva Dubin, Epstein's girlfriend from 1981 to 1990, now married to a hedge fund billionaire, emailed him with a casual invite. Her exact hook, come and visit next weekend. Selena will have 5 friends over. And then obviously responded, I'm at the ranch. Okay. Nice. Not at all. StopWorldControl.com said Trump ended the pandemic, which was supposed to last 10 years. Trump prevented the Great Reset, which is supposed to enslave all mankind. Trump prevented the destruction of America, which is supposed to happen under Hillary Clinton when she got elected in 2016, which she didn't, thank God. Trump arrested Jeffrey Epstein and ended his operation to sexually blackmail influential leaders. Trump ended mass censorship and restored free speech with help. Trump arrested multiple heads of global drug cartels and ended the world's greatest drug operations. Trump removed the USA from the WHO, effectively preventing their plan for world domination, as you've seen in the Epstein files. Trump will abolish the United Nations, again ending the agenda for a one-world government. Trump exposed the mind control of the news media and popularised the term fake news media. Trump empowered the rise of alternative news media that counters the lies of the mainstream. Trump exposed election fraud and is busy making elections around the world safe again. Trump exposed the deep state for the whole world and is busy eradicating it. Trump launched a worldwide war against child trafficking and human rights abuse. Trump brought faith, prayer in the Bible back in public buildings and society. Trump exposed the deep corruption of the CIA, the FBI and the DOJ. Trump ended the brainwashing of children by abolishing the Department of Education. Trump will restore quality education by offering the free American Academy to the youth. Trump defunded the LGBTQ and transgender agenda and is restoring healthy families in America. Trump is ending the poisoning of the food and restores healthy nutrition. Trump ended a mass invasion of illegals which was supposed to destroy America. Trump ended the worldwide funding of the deep state evil activities through US aid. Trump ended massive theft of trillions of American taxpayer dollars. Trump's going to end taxes and will restore wealth to the American people. Trump ended the satanic rule in Hollywood and appointed Gibson and Stallone as his eyes in Hollywood. Trump empowered millions of patriots worldwide to oppose the deep state New World Order. Trump openly confronts the globalists at the WEF and puts an end to their nefarious agendas. Trump ended the climate change scam, which was supposed to be the excuse for global tyranny. Trump ended the childhood vaccine mandates and reduced the vaccines from 70 to 9. I think you have a choice, don't you? I hope you have a choice. And there's 1,000 other things Trump did to end the rule of evil. That is why he's being attacked so violently with false accusations. Please share this to help counter the massive lies against Trump. Yep, because it's going on everywhere. Mario Norfall said Epstein was talking business with Macron back in 2016 when Macron was just France's economy guy. Then in 2018, after Macron became president, emails show him allegedly asked Epstein for help with PR and how to run stuff. Yeah, Macron asking Epstein for advice. Insane. And it's here. I don't know how to say that. He's having dinner with Macron today, so timing was perfect. Okay. Tom Pritzker would like a direct contact with someone in the Macron admin. Is this doable? Wow. This email originated outside Warner Brothers. What? From Macron, we believe that we need to rethink, rebuild and invent governance and format international institutions, commitments and relationships between public and private stakeholders and socio-economic instruments to better address the changes which socio-economic innovation would you support to promote a more progressive future. And it's in response to, Elon Musk. Epstein files cite exchanges regarding French president. Newly disclosed documents linked to late sex offender include emails and references. Okay, with Macron, about his election. Okay, Tommy Robinson said Rupert Lowe in Parliament today thanks Elon and X for helping expose the evil of the Epstein list. Moans, groans and shouts of shame ring out. Really? They know their time's almost up. Let's have a listen.
We all owe a great vote of thanks and gratitude to Elon Musk and X, who has played his part in exposing a great deal of this evil. We all owe a great
shame on the people saying shame. Matt Wallace said a lot of people don't know that Harvey Levin was from TMZ. Is this true? 75 years old. Yeah, he's on something. He thinks it's adrenochrome. In the Epstein files, Levin is described as a good friend who is willing to run smear campaigns by request. I might be able to get him to do something. Creepy stuff. Is this man 75? Is he really? Yeah, I used to love the movie Hostel too. Look, Shannon said, look at the Hostel movie set in Ukraine. Girls are backpackers who are drugged then tortured as elites' playthings. Yep. Okay, Speak with Dee Dee said, what the actual fuck? This freak satanic monster emailed Epstein methods on how to get kids to, what? Suck harder. What the F? What the actual F? What is this? Let's have a look.
I wanted to give you guys a quick update on Mark Tremo, who is the UCLA professor who emailed Jeffrey Epstein tips to get infants to suck more vigorously on a pacifier. I went and stood outside of his building at UCLA yesterday with a giant sign with his quote. And on the other side it said, "Fire Mark Tremo." And I screamed by myself for an hour. At the end, when my voice was shot and I was exhausted, the department head came up to me. He let me know they're not renewing his contract, and I suggested he better get his name off of that website if they don't want this to continue daily. Guys, our voices can be heard.
Yeah, I didn't see any proof. I don't know about you. Did you see any? See, I take it all with a grain of salt and make sure you do your own research because I didn't see any of this in there, but there's a lot of files in there, man. Okay, Mega Voice said, breaking rep James Comer just confirmed that Bill and Hillary Clinton's deposition on Epstein will be public for millions to see. Time to expose? Can we explode? Time to expose the Clintons' TikTok. Let's have a listen. What's this?
Both Clintons agreed to have transcribed, filmed depositions at the end of the month. Here to tell us more, the congressman who's been trying to get them to testify for years? Congressman James Comer, House Oversight Committee Chair. Congressman Comer, tell us about how this went down, because last week it was they were not coming to testify. They give you the big stiff arm. Yeah. Well, they didn't think that any Democrats would support this, but the Democrats on the Oversight Committee met with the victims, the Epstein victims, and they want everybody that's photographed with the victims, anyone that's spent a lot of time with Epstein or Maxwell, they want everyone to answer questions. And unlike President Trump, neither Clinton has ever answered any questions about Epstein. They've never done a sit-down interview. They've never talked about it. And obviously, they didn't want to come in front of the Oversight Committee. We had a markup for contempt when they missed their date that they were supposed to testify. And to their surprise, a majority of Democrats on the Oversight Committee voted with all the Republicans. Then they spent a week trying to intimidate me and say our subpoena wasn't lawful, and then try to get the Democrats back together to not vote for it, to make it a partisan vote, thinking they could beat it in court if it was a partisan vote. And there were several Democrats that were going to vote to hold Bill Clinton in contempt for not showing up for a subpoena. So that's how we got here. They knew they were going to be held in contempt. They knew when Steve Bannon and Navarro had been held in contempt happened to them, and they didn't want that to happen. Yeah, so it's not a question. It's not a question whether they're going to testify. They are going to testify. They are testifying. And for people who don't understand the process here, I assume you would have preferred for this to be public testimony, but I imagine a good lawyer would negotiate this behind closed doors. Was that a deal breaker? Well, no, it's going to be public because we're going to record it. There'll be an audio, there'll be a video, and there'll be a transcript. So every American's going to be able to watch the entirety of this. But didn't they offer to do it in public? Yeah, they said they would do it. They said they would do it. Well, they want a hearing. Then why not do it? Well, they want a hearing, Laura. And anyone who's ever watched a congressional hearing where you go 5 minutes Republican, 5 minutes Democrat, Democrats and Republicans are yelling, a substantive interview will be conducted through deposition. If they want, after the depositions, to come back for a public hearing, then my members on the Oversight Committee would love to have the Clintons in a hearing. But the subpoena and the contempt was about them blowing off a deposition. And we're going to have each Clinton in for a day-long deposition. Then after that, if they want to have a hearing, Laura, they are more than welcome to testify in front of the House Oversight Committee. I'll be in the front row.
There you go. And yes, you're right, Shannon. One leads to another, leads to another, leads to another. It's going to keep going. General Mike Flynn was responding to Matthew Stoller, who said the Jeffrey Epstein saga isn't a scandal about pedo, it's about a Russian world called blat, a Soviet-era word meaning the use of personal networks for obtaining goods and services in short supply and for circumventing formal procedures. It's about a kind of government. As with the large number of blatniks in the Soviet era who made sure their factories got what they needed outside the formal state procurement process, Epstein greased the wheels for the neoliberal state. His job was governance. What does that mean? Well, it's clear that Epstein was an entrepreneurial broker across multiple public and private bureaucracies, helping organise under-the-table deals among the legal, business, intelligence and political elites to allow them to escape the rule of law and traditional conflict of interest restrictions. It's statecraft to allow a superclass to systemically escape the formalised rules. The pedophilia and prostitution were part of it. That is obviously violating the rule of law, but so are the random favours Epstein bestowed. Like Epstein sending Senator Joe Manchin's request for a yacht, a request which came from the First Lady of the Virginia Islands, to a random New York financier who might have one, or working with Joy Ito at MIT and billionaire Reid Hoffman to restructure the Bitcoin Foundation. It's all about matching capital and talent and inputs outside of the restrictions ordinary people are subject to. Rules for thee, but not for me. This kind of governance is particularly important in Soviet-style states, where everyone knows the rules are fake, where skirting the system is the system. Epstein and his affiliates thrive because of the weakened institutions of the United States. Can't talk. Institutions enfeebled in many cases by the men in his network, like Larry Summers. These men adopted multiple roles: advisor, businessman, academic, board member, regulator, and put on the hat that best maximised their self-interest and the self-interest of their narrow network at that moment. The old world, where handing someone your business card meant you represented that institution, disappeared in the 1980s. Over the course of the 90s, neoconservatives, neoliberals, bankers, ultimately Epstein's network, built this new social order. It was one where you couldn't succeed through formal rules, but if you were let into the networks of trust by blatniks, you could do anything you wanted. While all the specifics of Epstein network are not known, and while conspiracy theorists often have crazy views, they have correctly fingered that the world of meritocracy and formalised systems is increasingly a fraud and that the real government lies elsewhere. In short, when formal democratic institutions like Congress stop governing, the networks of men like Epstein fill the power vacuum. Epstein built what Roy Cohn's always wanted to have but never achieved because the then institutions were too strong for him to break. Here's a passage from socialist Janine Waddell's Shadow Elite on how this form of governance works. Okay, they're known as Blatt. Okay. To eke out more livable existence, nearly everyone engaged in under-the-table deals that Westerners might consider corrupt because this activity was risky. Trust was indispensable and personalising bureaucracy essential. People personalised the little bits of state that they had to interact with, forming relationships with officials, bureaucrats and clerks. That meant either building relationships with them through an etiquette of exchange or mobilising trusted contacts through informal social network of family, friends, neighbours and work colleagues. The most important asset was word-of-mouth information which could not be gleaned without trusted sources who could point to who, how and where. Mama, with her uncanny ability to suss out what people could offer, to probe and retain information and to bring forth favours from the secretarial clerk to the priest or party director, was not only a verifiable information bank, she was a dealer in privatised information, the quintessential Blattmeister. The quality of people's lives often largely depended on knowing which person, rather than which institution or organisation, could help secure routine goods and services. The who became far more important than what one needed help with. Among my friends in Poland, a typical list of errands consisted of names of people matched up with tasks. To repair heating, contact Pan, Mr. Jan for gasoline, Pan, I can't say the last name, for a driver's licence, Pan someone else for prompt medical attention, Panny, Mrs., Jadwiga, whatever her name is, or to reserve a place in kindergarten or university, Penny Antonia. Wow. So it was a network of, that's some good information, actually. Don't believe it for General Mike Flynn responded, don't believe for a second that Epstein was at the top. There are those far more powerful than him. These also must be exposed and held to account. They should. Mm-hmm. Who did he work for? He was representing the Rothschilds, remember? Mm-hmm. The Epstein files said these people really thought they were immortal gods above the rest of us. Apparently Epstein was trying to create the first designer baby and maybe even a human clone within 5 years. He was working with biohacker Brian Bishop and they were already talking funding, anonymity and lab testing in Ukraine. In Ukraine. Epstein said investors would need to stay hidden because the kid would be seen as a freak if people knew. They called it moving from garage biology to rewriting the future of the human species. Totally normal stuff there. Holy cow. I can't even read that. If you can, or if you want to take a screenshot, it's up to you. There's that one. And this one. I'll read this one. From Jeffrey Epstein to Brian Bishop. Here's a deek about my designer baby project. I've talked with Austin again, and we have a series of questions about how serious you are about wanting this and what the ground rules are for me, even exploring this with you and getting to the next steps. Most of these questions are around your requirements for secrecy and privacy, specifically regarding reputational risk and also any financial involvement. I think there would also need to be some understanding about goals and feasibility of different results. I think that one way this could be done under the banner of my Designer Babies project, since the other deliverable is similar and shares so many of the same procedures and lab requirements, this might offer a sufficient level of deniability. I propose another call on Monday in the afternoon to discuss these issues. Please propose a time. Thank you. Wow. Okay. It's very interesting, isn't it, when you get down to the nitty-gritty. Green Lives Matter said, remember when Richard Branson went on a crusade to eliminate the death penalty? Does anyone else think it might have something to do with the fact that the Epstein files reveal Branson told Epstein to bring his harem to him after Epstein was convicted as a child sex predator? Oh, he was going to take over the role, was he? Was he petrified of being put to death for crimes against children? Did I mention the literal day after Obama lost the election, he fled to Branson's private island? Those who scream the loudest.
If you use the death penalty, that removes any chance of forgiveness or for the remorseful. And in this particular case, there are several of the defendants, many still in early adulthood, who've expressed enormous regret for their offences, and they resolve to live better, more purposeful lives. So, we
don't do it in the first place if you're going to regret it. Jeez.
We feel the death penalty would be a complete waste.
You had a very famous guest, fresh out of office, President Obama, at Necker. What was it like going out kite surfing with him?
Oh, it was a real pleasure. He's an absolute delight to spend time with. He's a real sportsman. He'd never kited before in his life. He hadn't been able to do a lot of sport while he was president, so this was literally the day after he'd stepped down from being president. And he just threw himself into it. And by the end of the holiday, I was trying to learn to foil board, which is quite tough, where you come out of the water on a board. And
oh, I don't care what you're trying to do, mate. Seriously? Okay, Katie said no surprises that the Dalai Lama is mentioned in an Epstein email. If he's engaged with a child like this in public, imagine what he's doing behind closed doors. Do you remember this? Him weird? This is really weird. Oh. Yeah, I don't think you should kiss other people's children on the lips, to be fair. On the cheek, on the forehead, if you're close to the family, maybe. Nah, man. Yuck. Oh, my God, that's fast, I thought, because Ukraine. So sorry, I wish you could come today. Oh, no. I don't want to hear that again. I don't even want to see it again, actually. Sticking his tongue out at the child. DOQ said, imagine still thinking Q is a Mossad Israel operation. Q exposed Epstein 69 times. And the first post was on 11/11 in 2017. Israel last for a reason. Yeah. Doge Designer said it's not about Democrats, it's not about Republicans, it's not about left or right, it's not about politics. It's about the monsters who did it. It's about the justice for children. If no one who visited Epstein Island is prosecuted, then releasing the files is meaningless. C3 said the more they hate Trump, the deeper into Epstein they were. It's so obvious now. Well, like I said, they're going to be arrested for other stuff first, and it's going to lead up to the worst of the worst at the top. They're going to ease us all into it, I'm telling you. They're going to release things slowly. And justice, the wheels of justice do turn very, very slowly, and that's why everyone is so bloody frustrated right now. And I say that. Joey Manorino said, so Emmanuel Macron is directly linked to Epstein? His friend Ariana de Rothschild hired Emmanuel Macron in the Rothschild Bank as his puppet when he was a recent graduate of the ENA. Later, through the French Masonry lodges, he won the favour of the French Socialist and Prime Minister Manuel Valls in the Holland government, and Valls appointed him Minister of Economy. Anna has controlled Macron through her favours and networks of contacts, also to win the 2017 election and get campaign donors. I wonder if that's like, you know, the Epstein being the it's who you know, not what you know kind of thing. I wonder if that's what Macron was trying to do. Other than that, he's a pedo. Not Jerome Powell said, when you've been buying Bitcoin to opt out of the system but discover that Satoshi Nakamoto is Jeffrey Epstein. This is where people were thinking that, yeah, Satoshi Nakamoto, a lot of people think, is Jeffrey Epstein. And this is what people who own Bitcoin are doing. It remains to be seen. The truth will come out eventually. I don't know if he is Satoshi Nakamoto. Okay, I'm not saying he is or he isn't. What I would like to make sure is everyone goes and has a look for themselves. Liz Churchill said we'll meet at Jeffrey's home on E71st. Yes. What do Bill Gates, Jeffrey Epstein, David Wolf, Dr. Fauci and Hunter Biden have in common? Biological labs. They weren't just creating viruses and designer babies. I'm sure there was more involved there too. Because apparently Bill Gates and Epstein apparently made COVID. Peter Sweden, I don't believe in COVID, sorry. Peter Sweden said, surprise, the new boss at the World Economic Forum is in the Epstein files. Are you surprised? I'm not surprised. The Rubber Duck said, undeniable proof that Donald Trump voluntarily assisted the 2009 investigation into Jeffrey Epstein, which led to his first arrest and conviction. The reason why Epstein was convicted was because of the evidence provided by Trump. This is called a receipt.
Mr. Bradley Edwards, attorney who's represented many of the victims of Jeffrey Epstein.
The only thing that I can say about President Trump is that he is the only person who, in 2009, when I served a lot of subpoenas on a lot of people, or at least gave notice to some pretty connected people that I wanted to talk to them, he is the only person who picked up the phone and said, let's just talk. I'll give you as much time as you want. I'll tell you what you need to know, and was very helpful in the information that he gave, and gave no indication whatsoever that he was involved in anything untoward whatsoever, but had good information that checked out and that helped us, and that we didn't have to take a deposition of him.
That was in 2009?
That was in 2009. So,
do you know if there's any truth to James Patterson's claims that Trump kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago?
I've definitely heard that.
In 2016, he wrote about Jeffrey Epstein in his book, Filthy Rich, a powerful billionaire, the sex scandal that undid him, and all the money that justice can buy. Apparently, President Trump had some sort of falling out with Epstein.
There were some complaints about Epstein at Mar-a-Lago, and also I spoke to the head of the spa there, and she said that I said, "Did you ever meet Epstein?" She said, "Oh yes." She said he would come and he was inappropriate with some of the younger women there, and she said, "I went to Mr. Trump and Trump threw him out of the club."
So it's your understanding then that President Trump, or at that time Mr. Trump, didn't know what Jeffrey Epstein was up to?
That is correct. Epstein liked stars. I mean, one of the weird ones is Stephen Hawking. He did take Stephen Hawking to his Lolita's Island, which is really odd. But he loaned Clinton his plane at least on 4 occasions, and it was and I'm not just saying this because I know the president, but it had to do with the foundation.
There you go. Okay, Drogo said Trump just psyoped the entire world into take the red pill about Pizzagate and Epstein. He doesn't sound so crazy anymore, does it? Enormous scale of events currently ongoing. Let's have a look.
What if there was a certain group that tried to end this slavery? Well, that is why I'm here, to tell and educate you about Q, the greatest military operation the world has ever seen.
people who believe in the QAnon conspiracy theory.
It's like an alternate reality theory.
Best sum up QAnon.
QAnon shaman pushing QAnon theories.
QAnon. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy. Conspiracy theories are continuing.
Satan worshippers and pedophiles who eat babies.
And that you are the savior of them. I just don't know about QAnon.
We follow the vision of President John F. Kennedy, who predicted the rise of special operations nearly 60 years ago.
In my former life, I was an insider as much as anybody else. And I knew to be an insider, it's not bad. Now I'm being punished for leaving the special club and revealing to you the terrible things that are going on having to do with our country.
WikiLeaks releasing the newest batch of what are believed to be campaign chairman John Podesta.
Inbox Clinton campaign chair John Podesta were drip-fed out on WikiLeaks.
Your steadfast commitment to end human trafficking. And your
Pizzagate. It became a major
today because I was watching between Pizzagate and
maybe part of a child sex trafficking ring.
Time to drain the swamp, which, by the way, we are keeping open, and to keep open the detention facilities in Guantanamo Bay. And we're going to load it up with some bad dudes, believe me, we're going to load it up. I will totally obliterate the deep state. Because I used to be part of the club, I'm the only one that can fix it. I'm doing this for the people and for the movement, and we will take back this country for you, and we will make America great again.
There you go. I love the Q stuff. And plus it tells you what's going on pretty much today. You can nearly, you can read it and just realize what is happening. And it's this side here. And this is what you'll get. Look at this. Okay. And then what you'll have, if you go onto the site, you can look up words, which I have done here, or just let me get my keyboard. Well, this is the whole thing. It ended on November 28th, 2022. You can go back to the beginning, October the 29th, 2017. And you have 4,966 posts. Okay? But what they said is coming true, and you can see it. Okay, Zero Hedge said the man who shockingly awarded the newly elected Barack Obama the Nobel Peace Prize in 2009, and who was chair of the Nobel Committee from 2009 to 2015, was an Epstein Island regular. Norwegian Nobel Committee, can't see who it was to, from Cecile de Jong, spoke to Jay regarding... Jay Jagland, and whether he still wants the hotel. And he said that he was waiting to hear back from Jagland. He said that Jagland wanted to stay on the island. Am I to take your email that Jagland et al. Will be guests on the island? And Norway's Nobel Peace Prize Committee has demoted its chairman, Thorbjørn Jagland. There you go. In a move unprecedented in the long history of the award. The committee, which said the former Norwegian Prime Minister would remain as committee member, gave no reason for its decision. However, the renowned diplomat drew criticism shortly after becoming committee chairman in 2009 for awarding the prestigious Nobel to newly elected President Barack Obama, who went on to drone and kill a lot of people, including American citizens. The move stunned the world and recipients alike, as Obama had been in office less than 9 months and the US was waging simultaneous wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. After 6 years at the helm of the committee, Jagland, 64, will be replaced. There you go.
What if there was
a... very interesting, isn't it? Mario Norful, here we go. I represent the Rothschilds. The Epstein files is the biggest validation of conspiracy theorists. As you probably know, I represent the Rothschilds. Okay, I was hoping to figure out a way for the bank that has $160 billion in MGMT can do something in tech. I think I read that yesterday or the day before. Oh, sorry, the day before. The last video I did. Liz Churchill said, now we know why. Bill Gates was lobbying the Senate night and day to prevent the Epstein Island list from being released. And then Dick Durbin comes out and says he's not going to release the names. Interesting. What is this? Just pictures of Epstein and Bill Gates. Okay, Bethany O'Leary said, breaking, what the is this? Email between Epstein and someone else. Millions of babies spoken about alongside veggie cream cheese. That is cannibalistic, period. This isn't dark humour, that's depravity. We've been told for years to ignore our instincts, but no sane human talks about babies like this. Spread this everywhere. Through enough exposure, it's time for accountability. From Jeffrey Epstein to the name is blanked out. The person wrote, haha, do you want veggie cream cheese tomorrow? I would go look for it now. Jeffrey, J.E. Vacation. There are millions of babies, very little good vegetable cream cheese. What the fuck? Lol, I don't know if cream cheese and baby are on the same level. It's okay, there's still enough time today. I'm trying to schedule priming for 5:30, fuel explosions 9:45. We'll bring a new engine startup video. Some weird stuff in there. Okay, Liz Churchill said Mel Gibson once called for American patriots to bring awareness to child trafficking. Everyone thought he was crazy. With the release of the Epstein files, it's confirmed he was telling the truth. Yeah, and Mel Gibson and Sylvester Stallone are working for Trump in the Hollywood sector. They're insiders.
The most disturbing problems in our world today is human trafficking, and particularly the trafficking of children. Now, the first step in eradicating this crime is awareness. The most disturbing problems in our world today.
That just made me think of adrenochrome. Why? Maybe that's why they can't. I don't know if cream cheese and baby are on the same level. I don't know. It just made me think of the adrenochrome. Awakened Outlaw said, yes, Rainn Wilson, most famous for his role in the television series The Office. Turns out he's just another example of the human filth in Hollywood, posting about raping, sacrificing, and eating children. Hits a little different now the Epstein files have dropped, doesn't it? Make sure to share this with people who need to see it. Note the video below speaks to the role that he and his ilk play for the elites, serving as a court jester. Rainn Wilson said, what about human baby meat? RT, what should I eat for dinner? I'm thinking pasta. There's that pasta again. Little concern this morning, found blood in my urine. Well, not my urine, the baby urine I wash my hair with. Beautiful day for the ritual sacrification of a virgin. Joke, how many clowns does it take to screw in a light bulb? A, 12. 1 to screw it in and 11 to kidnap and chew on human babies. What the There is something mentally wrong with these people. If you want to punish a teenager, simply take away their cell phone and sodomise them with it. What? The Catholic Church should set up a program where all the abused little kids are allowed to molest the priests. I'm sure I read these like 5 years ago. I drained the blood out of a goth kid. Does that make me goth by proxy? This is how disgusting these people are. Now, they're not the only ones. Apparently it's not his real account. I don't know. A lot of them were tweeting the same things.
We're talking about the Epstein files with George Bush and Bill Gates, but I'm still stuck on the jester. Now, jesters are one of the reasons that Epstein and these people got away with everything. Basically, we're looking at D, B, and C class celebrities. For this video, we can use Rainn Wilson and Chrissy Teigen as examples of this archetype. Allegedly. Rainn Wilson released disturbing tweets talking about harming children in 2009 and 2011. Now you can look these disturbing tweets up. I don't want these tweets to hurt my honey butter's eyes, and I don't want that darkness overshadowing the beauty of my videos and my jacket, okay? It has a dragon on it. He also released a video in 2014 with Soul Pancake on YouTube of him doing really weird things, sexual things to a chicken, a stuffed animal chicken, and you can look that up if you want to see my drift. Chrissy Teigen is also known for having written really disturbing tweets about children, and you can look these up as well. They're awful. Here's how the court jester archetype works. The freedom we, the populace, give the jesters to be disturbing is the degree to which parasitic people believe they can continue to get away with their dark parasitic antics. What if on some level the human populace's degree of compliance with celebrities being weird is correlated to how dark and weird these parasitic people continue to be? Jesters were actually used for psychological warfare. According to Wikipedia, the jesters would ride in front of troops to mock and distract the enemy. Jesters are tools, barometers, for measuring public opinion and outrage. If a jester puts out disturbing words, and there is no public outcry, this signals to the monarchy that the public is indeed tolerant of disgusting behavior. Now, in archetypal context, the jester is seen as a warped reflection of the king. You'll notice his hat mimics the royal crown, and his scepter mirrors the scepter of the monarch. He is simply an archetypal outlet for the monarch to tell the public the truth about what the monarch really is. And have you noticed that Hollywood comedians are often overly perverse?
His entire job consisted of saying, "Take a look at this," which is what he used to say to Mary-Kate Olsen in her dressing room. Bob.
What if they are there to test the waters? How disturbing can these actors bend reality into being, to warp the minds of the populace to think that disturbing words are normal? But the wild thing about humans today is many people still think actors are just actors. They believe the idea that actors are contributing some sort of message to humankind, which is what actors were originally intended to do, is crazy. 15 years ago, little love, when Epstein Island was in operation, we had these celebrities tweeting extremely dark tweets. Most people just wanted to laugh and close their eyes. When people wish to be complacent, dissociated from the evils in front of them, this just symbolizes to the monarchy a degree of public consent. And keep in mind, cutie pie, that jesters can actually come in political form too.
Epstein was cool.
Who is this woman? Cutie pie?
There, I said it. Jeff Epstein, not a pedophile.
Pedo thing, it's like, they're railing pedophilia.
As long as they're funny and entertaining and a little bit obscure, they could always be a jester. I know what you're thinking. Could I be a jester too?
Yep.
Of course I could be. You should be weary of me and anyone you see on a screen, because that means you're thinking.
As always, do your own research. Whoops. Okay, Israel exposed. Confirmed Epstein trained as a spy under Israeli Prime Minister. The FBI knew the whole time. This is not an admission, but it is and could be, I'm not saying it is, but it could be disinformation. It looks like a report. Case agent name, Los Angeles Field Office. Okay, so make of that what you will. I'm bringing you as much as I can of everything I'm finding, okay? It's up to you to discern what you believe and what you don't believe. Lord Bibo said the head of Ukrainian modelling agency, Line 12, Masha Manyuk, provided women for Jeffrey Epstein, allegedly. I can't read it. I hate it when they do that. These should be separate so that I can read them, but I can't. Okay. Saya Jai said the DOJ just released thousands of pages of the Epstein files, and buried inside them may be one of the biggest bombshells no one's talking about. The blueprint for a 20-year financial architecture designed to turn pandemics into a profit centre. Offshore vaccine funds, pandemic reinsurgence triggers, donor-advised fund structures designed to profit under the cover of charities, simulation programs, career pipelines in a pharma and the World Economic Forum. All built years before COVID-19, all running through the gates, JP Morgan and Epstein. Now we have the documents. Bombshell number 1, offshore arm for vaccines. In August 2011, Jeffrey Epstein emailed Mary... I'm sure I read this, didn't I? I am pretty sure I read this one. It's further up. I've done it twice for some reason. Kirill Dmitriev said we are now clear on the satanic, well-connected and ubiquitous Epstein cabal that President Putin and President Trump are fighting. This cabal lectured the world on democracy and best practices. The truth will set you free. The vampire ball is ending. Save the children. Let's have a look. Hang on, let's go back. They are used to, for centuries, to stuffing their belly with human flesh and their pockets with money, but they need to understand that the vampire's ball's coming to an end. I don't know if that's what he's actually saying, but, you know, it's what they're posting. Yeah. It's all coming to an end, guys. Lozzie B said, "Dear leftists, your entire movement was created and funded by the same people behind Epstein. All of the puzzle pieces are right in front of you and you still can't put the pieces together. Crazy. The whole LGBT progressive movement." Pauline Hanson said, "News alert, Corey Bernardi joins One Nation." Is there any more of the Epstein stuff? The Yorkshire lass said, "I know that we're being vindicated in a huge way right now. It would be normal to jump for joy and be excited. The truth is finally coming out. For many of us, though, we are living when we first went down the satanic elite trafficking babies and children rabbit hole. We're still living through the hell we went through years ago. I feel sad but happy at the same time. I understand why it's taken this long and why it had to be done this way. God help the normies. We tried to tell them, but they laughed and told us it wasn't happening. I don't even feel like I want to say I told you so. I actually feel sorry for those who are just waking up. At least we've had time to grieve with so much being thrown at us at the start. It's getting crazy out there. It's going to get crazier." Ames said, "I didn't rush to defend anyone. I waited, I read, I cross-checked timelines, I looked at who released what, when and why. And the deeper you go, the more this thing starts to look less like justice and more like information warfare. First principle motive. If Trump were truly implicated in Epstein's crime, Biden's DOJ would have weaponized that information immediately. Not quietly, not cautiously, immediately. They've spent years digging, subpoenaing, indicting, leaking and prosecuting him on everything from accounting errors to classified napkins. You're telling me they suddenly develop restraint when it comes to Epstein? Come on. Second principle, timing. Some of the material being waved around now conveniently traces back to the period right before the 2016 election. That's not random. That's the same window we got the Steele dossier, the Russia hoax, anonymous intel leaks and every other trusty expert's fairy tale that later collapsed. When new evidence appears perfectly aligned with the election cycles, that's not justice, that's strategy. Third principle, quality of evidence. Real crimes leave patterns, they leave corroboration, they leave physical evidence, photographs, flight logs, financial trails, witnesses who independently tell the same story. That exists for others. Prince Andrew, photos. Bill Clinton, photos, logs, witnesses, repeat visits. Trump, vague mentions, inconsistent wording, retroactive titles like President Trump, used before he was president. Unverified statements slipped into a document dump so large most people won't read it and will just parrot the headlines. That's not evidence, that's narrative laundering. Fourth principle, behavioural history. Trump cut Epstein off decades ago, not quietly, not politely, he barred him. He distanced himself. There are emails where Epstein believed Trump was the one who turned him in. That alone doesn't make Trump a saint, but it absolutely destroys the myth that they were long-time partners in crime. Ask yourself this, why do we never hear from Epstein himself praising Trump? Why no good friend comments like we've seen about others? Why no repeated travel, no island visits, no photographs, no victim patterns? Because it doesn't fit the story. Fifth principle, PSYOP mechanics. This is textbook. You flood the zone with documents, you mix verified material with questionable entries. Like I was saying, you rely on the public's inability to pass massive data sets. You let media and influencers do the framing for you. Anyone who asks questions gets labelled a defender of evil. It's not about proving guilt. It's about planting association. That's why I believe Trump slowed the release of the files, not because he feared the truth, but because he saw contaminated records being inserted. One falsehood enters an official archive, it becomes almost impossible to remove. The lie lives forever, even after it's debunked. And let's be honest about the players. These are the same institutions that lied about weapons of mass destruction, lied about Russian collusion, lied about Hunter Biden's laptop, lied about COVID lied about surveillance, lied about under oath repeatedly. Now suddenly they're your trusted moral arbiters. Here's the bottom line, stripped of politics. If Trump is guilty, show the evidence, not implications, not timing games, not document spaghetti. Show photos, show logs, show corroborated victim testimony. Until then, this doesn't look like accountability, it looks like desperation. And desperate systems don't seek truth, they manufacture belief. That's not defending a man, that's defending reason. Colby Kyle. I didn't write this extremely well-written post, but I totally agree with it. There you go. And that is the truth. This is what I think, honestly. And that's why, because I said earlier, the FBI have also had years to insert whatever they wanted in there. And they did. Okay. L.H. Gray said, responding to Reid Hoffman, sorry, my stomach is gurgling. Reid, you contemptible, bloodless MFer. Your latest whimper of regret isn't penance, it's calculated ejection of bile to keep the mob from your door. You didn't deeply regret a goddamn thing when you were still boarding private jets to Epstein's pedo archipelago and his New Mexico playground years after his 2008 conviction. You were elbow deep in that swamp, harvesting introductions and donations for your precious MIT fundraising scam, gritting like the soulless network parasite you've always been. This isn't remorse, this is textbook narcissist injury response. The moment your name surfaced in those 2025 email dumps, proof you were scheduling island trips and ranch retreats with a convicted child trafficker, you suddenly discover a conscience. Spare us the performance. We've known exactly who and what Epstein was for over a decade. You stayed silent while he continued operating because his Rolodex was useful to you. The second your own reputation caught fire, you pivot to justice for victims just like a chameleon switching colours. Classic cluster B manoeuvre. Externalise blame, project moral purity and weaponise the very pain you helped enable. You think tweeting a promise to call for full file releases absolves you? That's not courage, that's hostage negotiation PR. You're not demanding transparency because you care about the girls whose lives were shredded. You're doing it because the spotlight is finally on your complicity and you need to look like the good guy before the Microsoft board, the grey lock LPs and the Davos cocktail circuit cut you loose. You're terrified of becoming the next sacrificial elite, so you throw the dead monster under the bus and pretend your hands aren't stained. Let's be crystal clear, you parasitic fraud. The victims don't need your sudden advocacy. They need every enabler like you stripped of power, reputation and freedom. You flew there, you emailed there, you fundraised there, you knew. And you kept quiet until it threatened your empire. That makes you not just complicit, you're an accessory after the fact in the court of human decency. The psychology here is transparent and pathetic, high-functioning sociopathy, wrapped in TED Talk platitudes. You rationalise, minimise and reframe until the cognitive dissonance subsides, then emerge with a fresh sermon about ethics and tech. But the mask is off, Reid. The world sees the calculating predator behind the LinkedIn visionary branding. So do everyone a favour, shut your lying mouth, resign from every board, liquidate your influence and disappear into whatever fortified compound billionaires flee to when the torches come out. Because every time you open that mouth to feign sorrow, you re-victimise the survivors, insult anyone with a functioning moral compass. You're not redeemable, you're not misunderstood, you're done, F off. And it was in response to Reid Hoffman saying, yes, interacting with Epstein post-conviction is something I deeply regret. Same thing Bill Gates says. I promise to continue calling for the full release of the Epstein files. The victims deserve justice and those responsible should be held accountable. And this person think Reid wasn't involved in anything nefarious. Okay? Oh, my stomach. Oh, sorry, guys. Where am I up to? Back here. How did I jump that far? Okay. Pamphlet said breaking former FBI Director Andrew McCabe is a child predator, according to the Epstein files. Several years ago, FBI agent Andrew McCabe put a FISA warrant on me unjustly. I witnessed him pay a woman to have sex with her underage daughter. I don't know how I got to this place, but I remember a man telling me to get up and stop him. I got up and looked at the mother and Andrew, but I wasn't brave enough and I couldn't remember all these years. This was just another time I was taken from my bed at gunpoint. I'm a victim of being raped several times, set up by Winter Hill gang members that are in the FBI and CIA. People have also faked their death to be in the CIA at the expense of terrorising me. One man, Keith Shipley, invited me to lunch in 2011. I got in the vehicle, was handed a drink of water by a man in the front seat and was laced again. These men were also Winter Hill gang members. I woke up tied to a chair and a man had a propane tank and was waving flames at me. He said I could live if Keith drank cyanide. It was all fake and Keith is alive. Very weird. Kim.com shared this. Rothschild, miss our talks. Will you be free? Let's discuss Ukraine again. Epstein's Ukraine upheaval should provide many opportunities, after the maiden coup in 2014. This is from, what's the name to Rothschild? Hi, Jeff. Very long day sitting on bank board and NBs are okay but not satisfactory to me. And I'm putting them under pressure to be more innovative about asset management funds while restructuring. I'm in a dinner with a client, fed up. I miss our talks and hope you're well. We'll be home tomorrow night. Will you be free and let's discuss Ukraine? And Ukraine upheaval should provide many opportunities. Many. Yeah, for trafficking. Okay, Alex Jones, I'm just sharing it. A major investigation is underway to determine if reports are true. The current New York City mayor, Zohran Mamdani, is the biological son of Jeffrey Epstein now. That's his mum with Epstein, allegedly. I don't see any resemblance, but, you never know. He did want his own children, remember? This image contains a synthid watermark indicating it was made with Google Nano Banana. There you go. Who knows? Do your own research, as always. Like I said. Ivor Cummins said Epstein wasn't just trafficking girls, he was in talks about pushing radical gender ideology. Emails show they were pitching him on trans children, how to normalise it. Now you know where the trans madness originates from, the globalist bankers up top. Source Anonymous Rebellion 0.1 Reborn. From Robert Trivers to Jeffrey Epstein. It's very simple. I'll compare male to female with female to male. With greater molecular control over development, we're increasingly capable of producing novel phenotypes, more feminine men, by blocking testosterone receptors or castration, and at the same time increasing estrogen production. The one box male features, blocks. The second encourages female features. More masculine women, heavily testosterone dosage, incredible external effects. Heavily bearded men, you would never guess they had a female bone in their body. First kind, male to female, is 4 times more frequent than female to male. The first is attractive. He is a woman with a dick, so that if your fantasy is to give oral to that man, otherwise you are completely heterosexual, it'd be much nicer if the rest of the organism is female and then you get the best of both worlds. I see how they're trying to, yep. This is called social engineering. So many transsexual women are very attractive and easily make money, which in turn they assert promotes their prostitution since they have to pay hefty fees for injections every week. But they are sexually happy. Once you have reached manhood, even castration does not prevent the sensation of orgasm. Contrast the poor female to male versions. They are unhappy and lonely. They are men with mum-pums, the worst of both worlds. If you like smelly, masculine men, you want that hard, that comes with a show. You do not want one of nature's more complex and variable structures, the pum-pum. That is an acquired taste, and not with a man. There are hundreds of female trans videos on website. I've never seen a male one. By the way, we are now pushing the intervention earlier, so notice your 3-year-old son has trans tendencies, so now you intervene with hormones. I would be frightened to do that, but who knows? I'm sure they've been doing it for years. Jason Hinkle said, breaking, Peggy Siegel was one of Hollywood's most powerful publicists, told Epstein can bring a little baby back for you or two, boys or girls. So Madonna. Satanic. Okay, from Peggy Segal said, on the plane now with, it's from Kenya too. Maddie, we're about to take off for Amsterdam to Nairobi. We land in the morning of the 19th, Amsterdam, late in the evening of the 19th in Nairobi. On Sunday, we fly into the bush to Coffers Camp in the Masai Mara, then to Sasab in 24th, 26th, then 26th to Lamu to Paponi Hotel and back January 4th. We cannot thank you enough yet. Another life experience. If the Maasai warriors don't eat us, the pirates from Somalia will. We wish they would. What's that say? Coming to PB to see you in Jan, taking photos. We'll have a ball. Jeez, I can't even barely see it. And think of you all the time. Can bring a baby back for you or two, boys or girls. So Madonna. We'll email when we get to Amsterdam. Saw Sarah on the Duchess on today's show and Regis today. She was very compelling. A tad sad that she repeatedly said the monarchy pulled her and Andrew apart when they were married, just like monarchy tried to control Victoria in her youth. Bet the Queen is thrilled Fergie's failed marriage is her fault, but Sarah was very charming on TV. Sorry we didn't do the lunch. We were all too rushed to get out of town. Totally miss you. Peggy. Okay, Dr. Russ McGregor said the Epstein files are just the start. The D Party will cease to exist once it's all exposed. And this is from the Q board. It is post number 2635. The Democrat Party will cease to exist once it's all exposed. Fake news can no longer control or dampen public awareness of the truth. Dark delight. Q. And a lot of it was. A lot of it's questions as well. A lot of it's just little information, little tidbits of information. Okay, Mario Norful said new Epstein files show filmmaker Mira Nair, mum of New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani, went to an after party at Ghislaine Maxwell's house. Now Zohran's getting called out by voters. We know about your mum. Shame on you, Zohran. You lied to us. Oh, it's funny. The Rubber Duck said Epstein Zorro Ranch Baby Factory. Bookmark this. It's going to be a big deal, all of it. Okay, Baby Factory. Epstein Zorro Ranch Baby Factory. Are we going to forget Jeffrey Epstein had a massive ranch where girls were flown in? It was where he had a baby-making factory with a massive tunnel system. Baby factories are used for breeding undocumented children, used for sex organ harvesting, adrenochrome harvesting, mind control, satanic rituals, cannibalism, and everything else you could imagine. See, this is what I was wondering. What happens to these undocumented babies? It had a private runway for his plane, dubbed the Lolita Express. Jeffrey Epstein also had multiple planes. Prince Andrew and numerous celebrities, politicians and world leaders would visit. Epstein even had an X-rated portrait of a nude Ghislaine Maxwell with her legs wide open as a centerpiece of an underage pool party. Epstein's Zorro Ranch had computer rooms the size of houses to spy on guests, including Prince Andrew, victim claims. The property measured 33,339 square feet that sat on 10,000 acres. The maze of rooms, doors, vestibules, waiting areas and I already said doors. There's no doubt were used to maximum effect to trap and contain the victims until they were needed for Epstein's rituals. Is there underground tunnels at Zorro Ranch? Every year, the Albuquerque Journal has posted legal notices to the effect that Zorro Inc., Epstein Company, wants to change location of a well or dig deeper into new aquifers or change the location of that well yet again. Why does that well keep moving? And why would he need so much water if he's not using the land for its intended purpose? And why does he keep seeking permits to dig so deep? Is this a bait and switch operation where he gets approval to build one thing and while everyone turns a blind eye, he digs something entirely else and entirely different? Sources and further research. Is Jeffrey Epstein's Zorro Ranch insulated? Wow. Jeffrey Epstein's Zorro Ranch, is there an underground facility there? I might have to bookmark this one and go into this more. I'm going to, because I'd like to go and have a look at all these. Actually, so there you go. Still in the post. Okay, not a number said Epstein is likely still alive. It shows the shape of the ear from the person who was dead and they showed us was Epstein to Epstein's actual ear. Your ear does not change. The shape of your ear does not change. And it really does look slightly different. That's why we were thinking Jeffrey Epstein's not dead. Grace said from Spirit Cooking in the WikiLeaks emails to being a topic of conversation in the Epstein files to Zelensky asking her to be ambassador for Ukraine. Marina is a very popular girl. Marina Abramovic. I had a fascinating meeting with Marina Abramovic and HUO last week. I went down to the Sean Kelly Gallery to see her piece, which is amazing. Check it out. Yeah, she had one piece where she was standing there naked and let anyone do anything they wanted to her, and on the table was knives, guns, all different stuff. You could pour milk over her or water or something. It's very weird. I don't know who has these tastes. You must be really bored, really rich and really bloody bored. Liz Churchill said he had every reason to be worried George Clooney was in the Epstein files. George Clooney reveals why he moved his family from LA to a farm in France. I was worried. So you should be. We've got pictures of you and Obama with a little Asian girl. Okay, Grok says this photo of the young future New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani with Jeffrey Epstein, Bill Gates, Bill Clinton and others is real. Okay, Grok apparently says it's real. I'm about to break huge news on this topic in the next few hours. And that's with this thing here. Who knows? Seriously, that's why you go and do your own research. Red Pill USA said Epstein in an email to Peter Thiel. As you probably know, I represent the Rothschilds. Yeah, the Rothschilds, the same banking dynasty that basically engineered modern Israel via the Balfour Declaration. The very same Rothschilds whose creepy mansion showed up in Eyes Wide Shut during that elite occult ritual scene. Remember this? The rabbit hole is deep. This is crazy. Peter Thiel to Jeffrey Epstein, certainly not in Saudi. Just think I'll avoid the Middle East for the next decade or so. Should be back on the East Coast later in April, May, sometime in New York City or on Ireland then. And that's when he said, yeah, as you know, I represent the Rothschilds, which we've seen. Yes, Disney did. They had cruise ships that went to Epstein Island. Lord Bebo said Disney sent children to Epstein Island, needs to be shut down. Captain Nautica's snorkeling expedition activity type is splash-tacular and family adventures. Moderate activity level, duration 3.5 hours. Adult price $75, ages 10 and up, and child prices are... How is a child aged 10 and up an adult? Really? Because they charge for it, you know what I mean? It's not when they want to drive or buy cigarettes or alcohol, is it? Anyway, be whisked away to aboard the captain's I can't read it. Powerboard to pair of sun-soaked snorkeling sites. Afterward, make your way to the second snorkel stop, Little St. James Island, which is what Epstein Island was called, Little St. James. Heather C. said Epstein files huge. The individual who anonymously posted on 4chan the morning of Epstein's death, August 10th, 2019, claiming he witnessed weird happenings at the prison before Epstein's death, has been identified in the Epstein files. Roberto Grijalva, no idea. Roberto here, an officer of the Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York, has been identified as the anonymous prison employee who posted on 4chan claiming Epstein left his cell Friday evening shackled in a medical wheelchair while at the same time an unauthorized trip van arrived at the prison, which he believes took Epstein away the night before news broke of his death. The day after Epstein's death, U.S. Attorney Jeffrey Berman of the SDNY opened a grand jury proceeding and subpoenaed 4chan, Apple, AT&T and Citibank for records, aiming to uncover Roberto's identity following the anonymous 4chan post. Roberto's name is not redacted on these bank records included in the SDNY subpoena response from Citibank for his 4chan post and ties to the same prison officer, Roberto, whose statements were released as part of the prison's investigation into Epstein's death. This is huge. We now have validation. The 4chan post from 8/10/2019 is a legitimate eyewitness account from an MCC prison officer that Epstein may have been switched out before the news broke of his alleged suicide. Up to you if you think he's alive or dead. I'm not going to tell anyone what to believe. But here we go. Pizza's coming back up. Yeah, my pizza would be coming back up if I looked at all the Pizzagate stuff, I swear. Jay Anderson said the word pizza is used over 900 times in Epstein various emails. Do you understand? In what context? Let's go for pizza and grape soda again. No one else can understand. It's better than a Chinese cookie, apparently. Alert, order pizza for Bobby Slayton. That's allegedly pizza is a FBI. WikiLeaks released a thing that showed the FBI symbols, signs and language for pedophilia. Pizza, cheese sauce, walnut sauce. There were lots of reference words that seemingly are very innocent but actually lead to something much worse. Roy Hodges to Jeffrey Epstein, I wanted to let you know the crew really appreciated the pizza today. Thank you for letting us do that. Yes. I think it's all going to roll into one. Gina Milan said Trump on the Grammys and Epstein files. The Grammys Awards are the worst, virtually unwatchable. CBS is lucky not to have this garbage litter their airwaves any longer. The host, Trevor Noah, whoever he may be, is almost as bad as Jimmy Kimmel at the low ratings Academy Awards. Noah said incorrectly about me that Donald Trump and Bill Clinton spent time on Epstein Island. Wrong, I can't speak for Bill, but I've never been to Epstein Island or anywhere close, and until tonight's false and defamatory statement, have never been accused of being there, not even by the fake news media. Noah, a total loser, better get his facts straight and get them straight fast. It looks like I'll be sending my lawyers to sue this poor, pathetic, talentless dope of an MC and suing him for plenty of dollars. Ask little George Slopanopoulos and others how that worked out. Also ask CBS, get ready, Noah, I'm going to have some fun with you, President Donald J. Trump. Okay, now this guy, Michael Saylor, got cooked by Epstein's publicist Peggy Siegel, who basically said, he's so creepy I don't even know if I can take his money. I don't even know how to blackmail him. He has no personality and doesn't understand social behaviour. I believe he has autism. Michael Saylor was saved by his autism. Based. Well done, mate. And Isaac's Army said Hollywood rapper Nicki Minaj is dropping some bombs on X. She ends her wildly disturbing rant saying the jig is up. Many believe she's referring to Jay-Z, who has nicknames like Jigger and Jiggerman. Jay-Z was also mentioned in the latest Epstein file drop. Your favourite artist has been practising rituals in a satanic cult where they take babies from other countries and mutilate and kill them as a form of blood sacrifice to their god. You see, their master is Satan. You must constantly shed blood. However, the jig is up. Yeah, Bethany O'Leary. I know somebody who's not on the Epstein files, the legend, Mel Gibson. Okay, yeah, and we know that he did not like black girls. Look, they might have been safe from him, right, but they weren't safe from others because some of these people, like, they're really... AKA, this is the one. This is Sean Atwood with Epstein's niece. I don't trust him as far as I could throw him. Okay? And here is C3. Here's Jay-Z with Satanic Spirit Cooker Marina Abramovic. Marina is featured in the Podesta emails. Jay-Z is featured in the Epstein emails. Does it make sense now? Ready? I don't want to listen to the creepy music because it's just making it worse for me. Yeah, I don't know how this is art. These people are weird. Very weird. It looked like the Joker smile there. Okay. Taya said, so I talked to my friend who relies completely on European mainstream media for news. We discussed the recent Epstein files. She started, so horrible what Trump did to those girls, and Elon Musk was friends with Epstein. I explained these claims are false and asked if Bill Gates was mentioned. She said no. I added that Gates is she added that Gates is a great man based on everything she's read from the news. European mainstream media constantly portrays Elon Musk and Donald Trump in a bad light, saying things like Trump wants Greenland for himself. And they talk for hours on TV about how dangerous Trump could be. My friends said they always discuss Trump negatively on the evening news. This kind of coverage encourages people to believe lies, lose sleep and distort their grip on reality. It's brainwashing and it's evil. And Australian news does the same thing. Stacey Plaskett meeting Jeffrey Epstein on his island on August the 18th at 11 a.m. Stacey, yes, of course I'll come to the island. MJ Truth Ultra has posted this. Reminder, Jeffrey Epstein was actively texting Stacey Plaskett during the Cohen hearing, telling her what to say. Does anyone remember that? Stacey Plaskett from Leslie Groff. Sorry, I thought I responded. Yes, I'll be available. Please share details on time and transportation to Jeffrey. Hello, Stacey. Just circling back. Will you be able to meet with Jeffrey on his island Monday the 18th at 11 a.m.? Erica, if Stacey is available for this, will you be going as well? Wasn't sure. Because Erica Kellers, Holsons and Anne Rodriguez was also included in this email.
Obama was president of the United States.
And read along as well.
And while we were once driving through a struggling neighborhood in Chicago, he commented that only black people could live that way. Attorney-client privilege, yes, I will turn it over.
You, as my friend Mr. Meadows pointed out, misled this committee even today in a written submission that contradicted your testimony. You have suggested you are going to review that. Did you review? Are you going to review it in our next break to correct the record, yes or no?
Yes.
Question, you helped out the president's campaign or were involved in the campaign as a representative, as a spokesman, even in your words today. It was your idea for the campaign dating back to 2011. Is that accurate, yes or no?
Yes.
Mr. Weisenberg and other individuals, Ms. Rona. Who are those individuals? Are they with the Trump organization?
They are.
Are there other people that we should be meeting with?
So, Alan Weisselberg is the chief financial officer.
Uh-huh. You got to quickly give us as many names as you can so we can get to them.
Yes, ma'am.
Is Ms. Rona, what is Ms. Rona's position?
Rona Graff is Mr. Trump's executive assistant.
And would she be able to corroborate many of the statements that you've made here?
Yes, her office is directly next to his, and she's involved in a lot that went on.
Yeah, so there you have it. And again, it's tough to watch and follow along, but you kind of get the idea. It's basically, it's being done in real time. And the real question is, why does Jeffrey Epstein even have her number to text her, and why is she so relaxed about having him as one of her contacts that she feels comfortable enough during a congressional hearing to text him right back? Yeah.
Makes sense now. He was the fixer. MJ Truth also said, Epstein files, dear Lord, my heart sank. Can bring a little baby back for you or two, which we've already read. Geopolitics said the Epstein files, something that everyone already knew. Greeks are paying the northern banks for debts that people never incurred. Summer 2015, Greece is being crushed. The media said Greeks are lazy, corrupt, living beyond their means, but behind the scenes, Epstein and Chomsky are exchanging the real analysis. Chomsky, about 90% of the payments to Greece actually go to the German and French banks who make risky investments and want to be paid off. So in effect, Greeks are paying the northern banks for debts that people never incurred. Greece wasn't bailed out. The money flowed through Athens straight into Frankfurt and Paris. The Greek people were left holding the debt. The banks got made whole and the people got austerity. Jeez. Liz Churchill said Tom Hanks and Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein organised the trafficking because Mum wouldn't have those connections. Jeb Bush, Tom Hanks, others has the list below. My name is Tom Hanks and I'm super excited to enter Sophia into the Miss Sexy Baby contest. Do you remember this? I'm not going to play the whole thing, but he does. It's very strange. He's got this young girl that he's... Hang on, let's have a look.
And when it comes to awards, this is as big as it gets.
I'm Sophie Hanks, and I want to be Miss Ultimate Sexy Baby. I like pageants because I like winning money, and I get to buy anything I want.
Why are they calling them Sexy Baby? What has that sex got to do with the baby? I mean, other than that's how you need to have one. But, I mean, you do not call children that, okay? I remember when I was young and people used to say things and I used to look at them like they were apparently joking, but I didn't like it.
Sophie and I did her first page when she was only 3 months old. Here she is. She got Queen. You remember that, honey?
Not really.
Oh, it's a beautiful day. Well, as you can see, we got over 40 of these bad boys.
Anyway, they're supposed to be taking the pee. You know, that's what it looks like, but it's actually, yeah, I don't know. I think they're trying to tell us what they actually do. Melissa Red Pill Freedom Force said it's finally time for the truth to come out about the Epstein files and Adreno. Let's share this. Jim Caviezel talks about when he exposed what adrenochrome is, that he was completely cut off from the movie industry. I'll listen to this.
Adrenochrome, that's not true. It's C9H9NO3. This is a chemical compound that is absolutely listed. It's been around in modern science since the 1930s. You can actually, there's a synthetic form and there's a regular, natural form, which is caused by torturing little kids to get their adrenaline up, essentially, and then extracting it from them. When you sit and meet, and so I brought this up a few years ago, and all of a sudden I was attacked by every media. Look it up. It's there. They absolutely went after me. And the next day, I never heard from my agency for 14 months. My lawyers let me go. My agency never called me after that, and essentially I was done.
There you go. Jay said, you'll never convince me that Beyonce did not know about Jay-Z and the Epstein files. Beyonce is the ringleader behind the whole disease temple known as Hollywood. It makes sense she went all in Kamala Harris. Yeah, remember when this happened?
It's Beyonce in this album for me. Appreciate that. And all us artists here, we fucking adore you. You are our light. And I love you. I always have. And I always...
Beyonce and I started out around the same time. And just like all of her fans, I fell in love with her. The first time I saw her, from her singing to dancing to acting, she can do it all. She's a triple threat. And one of the most talented people I've ever seen.
The Grammy goes to Lizzo for About Damn Time.
She knows. Beyonce, whoo! She knows. You changed my life.
It's like they all have to pay tribute to the Queen.
You sang that gospel medley, and the way you made me feel, I was like, I want to make people feel this way with my music. So thank you so much. You clearly are the artist of our lives. Hey, on. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
Guess who's jealous of Adele? Beyonce.
Nicholas Holcher, MPH, said Bill Gates. Okay, that is the end.
Adrenochrome. That's not true. It's
Oh, hang on.
C9H9NO3.
Still going.
This is a...
Shh. Okay, there you go. Okay, let's go over the chat. As far as we can. How far up? We're going to be able to go. That's it. Sandy, how you going? Menacing Muskrat, how you going? Shannon. Shannon. Oh, yeah, Panda Eyes. Oh, no. Yeah, Menacing Muskrat thinks Chrissy Teigen's a man. Alex said, I remember seeing all these tweets with loads of them saying sick things. They should have been locked up years ago. Yep. And Zal, how you going, Zal? They're a variety of hybrid. Shirley said, celebrities tell you the truth in a joking way, then laugh it off and laugh at you. Yeah, they do. Deb said even Meghan Markle's part of this evil, just looking at a last photo of her and red balloon. Yes, supporting children not. Sandy said they have split and fine-tuned the harmonic imbalance inside humans and things aren't coming properly. Yeah. Because Al said act whores. Alex said, yeah, that's it, menacing. Walken is very creepy and it wouldn't surprise me either. Sandy said forming. Menacing said, Zal, they are reptilians, Lucy's, they serve Lucifer. Shannon said, yes, and her husband, Legend, is a woman. Heaps of Hollywoods have been gender swapped in the Baphomet thing. They make better vessels for demons. Shirley said they're all into it. That's contract signed for fame. She's wearing red shoes, apparently. The Pope wears red shoes. Yeah, we know what that means. Anyone who's looked into Pizzagate knows what red shoes means. Human material. Shirley said they're all into it. It's contract signed for fame. Yep. Zal said the ones that are left are the low-hanging fruit. Real reps are gone. Alex said, yeah, that's the problem. Lots of people do think they're just joking, but we know they're not. They're completely depraved. Yep. Sandy said, I think Tim Pool's a female to male, but I'm not ordinary in my perspective. God love you. I don't think Tim Pool's but, you know, as to each their own. Everyone's allowed to think what they want. Sandy said, when the wicked fall, the righteous rejoice. Yes. Menacing said, someone explained that Christopher Walken's name refers to walk-ins. These things possess humans. Shannon said, the people who created Canberra had a horse called Lucifer. There you go. Sandy said, this is just the beginning. They've already lost. Yes, we're just watching it now. Deb said, Madeline McCann's dad's in the Red Shoe Club. J1 said, Heidi Klum wore a human skin suit to the Grammys. Alex said, what's FTM, Sandy? It's a female to male. Deb said they sacrificed their children. Shannon said, yes, you're supposed to be a sacrifice. Female to male transgender. The Mini P, how you going? Sausage and steak, new code words. Shirley said, Madeline McCann, look at Podesta Brothers. I'm never going to look at food the same way if we keep going with all these food words, man. Oh, dear. Shirley said, Madeline McCann, look at Podesta Brothers. Yes, I know. The sketches of the men looked exactly like John and Tony Podesta. Deb said Gates is a female. Shannon said, I worry that is what happened to little Gus. I know. Shirley said Gates is an Adam's apple. Deb said, look who? Alex said, oh, thank you for letting me know, Sandy. Sal said, menacing muskrat, many of them are blood hybrids, have a physical overlay. Sandy said, Shannon Gus is under one of those big piles of dirt in the front yard where they refused to look under. Shannon said Azaria Chamberlain was Marina Abramovic was apparently around when Azaria Chamberlain disappeared from Ayers Rock in Australia. You remember the dingo ate my baby? Yeah. Shannon said that they framed a dingo. Deb said, video coming out too, they were scaring the children. I have seen a video of someone being tied up and they were like burning them with a magnifying glass that is actually from a porn movie. So be careful what you're watching, unless you can see their faces clearly, and it's not Epstein either. But it looks a bit like him. So, look, I'm seeing things that if you're on X, it's pretty easy to debunk straight away. You'll find someone debunking. And you can read it and see whether you agree with it or not, you know. If you don't think they're debunking it, well then, you know. But there is movies from videos that are being shown as Epstein videos. I have not found a video yet, by the way. This is what I find a lot of. Yes, I'm over 18. Yeah. Oh, God, soap on a rope. It's a lather-up cat, okay? Then you got to go back. Then you got to go to the next. It's taken me ages just to go through photos, and most of them are like this. So I don't know how people are finding. I mean, you can search the site. Okay. A lot of photos of his, that's a lot of redactions. Is it the same page over and over? It looks like it. Over and over and over again. Yeah, this is what I found a lot of anyway. There were pictures of his mansion, his island and all that as well. Photo lineup instructions. It's the same thing over and over and over again. You got to go and look at them yourself. It's justice.gov/Epstein/DOJ disclosure data set, whatever. There's also FBI records on Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, if you believe any of that, it's a lot of numbers. And then you got this kind of thing. A lot of redactions. A lot of news articles. Okay. It's going to take a while to go through them all anyway, because there's just the amount of files. This is data set 3. There's data set 1, 2, and you've got all these files. So there you go. It's a lot. Okay. Oh. Okay. Where was I up to? So yeah, be careful of what you're watching too. So some of it is not from Epstein's stuff, yeah. Dingoes aren't that common around those resorts at Uluru Ayers Park, Zal said. Sandy said, Shannon, I've been putting it out there for a while, but who am I? When I saw the property, it looked like a burial. But if it happened 6 months before, Shannon said police are in on it as well. Shirley said they scare the children for the yeah. Sandy said, I've seen a video, it will haunt me for life. It broke something in me. Sandy said, have we seen the art and their symbolism? We all know it's just disturbing to realise we have to go this far and make it real in our minds. Yep. Deb said, the winner write the history. Yeah, they do. Sandy said, I feel like I don't want to know anymore. It's plateauing, but onset sick, yeah. Shannon said, sealed indictments. Cheryl Lee said, again, plenty of time to inflect false information in the files. There is, yeah. I think they've muddied it so much that, to me personally, it doesn't mean to everybody, but to me personally, I think they've muddied it so much we're not going to know. Deb said, no matter how much you try to handle it, gets to you. Yep. Sandy said, sick, bad typing. Yep. Shannon said, dark delight. Sandy said, only 10% of the world is real. Yep. Menacing Muskrat said, only 10% of the world is Christian. Shirley said, all those New York policemen who saw Clinton tapes sickened, heaving, seasoned officers sickened by the tapes and mysterious all died. Yeah, well, most of them have. Shannon said, regularly scheduled programming on television. Yep. Sandy said, the great red vampire died over a decade ago. He did not share all his secrets, and the system had been failing ever since. Sandy said his underlings were so sure of themselves. Menacing said, indeed, and these are seasoned NYC police officers, can't imagine. Yep. Cheryl Lee said, King Charles lineage vampire. Yeah, Vlad the Impaler he was linked to. Donald, how you going? Good to see ya. Sandy said, directly from Vlad the Impaler, have read, yep. Out to lunch, said what, and watch them work. Deb said, my friend said a night in Adelaide symbol shows up, so that's how they know what door to enter. There you go. Shannon said, did you watch the stuff in Adelaide I sent you, Debs? Sandy said, yeah, we can't even trust the files, it seems. Discretion is required, definitely. Definitely. And use your own discernment at all times. Zal said, Hev often has issues between chair and keyboard. I don't even have a chair at the moment. There's no room in this room to put a chair. I'm sitting on the edge of my bed. Sitting on the edge of my seat. Cheryl Lee said, not showing Clinton tapes on the dark web. Now showing or not showing? Out to lunch said, Donald Hendricks, hi, I went to school with the white Jimi Hendrix. Deb said, I saw it and sent it to Hev. I've lived in the middle of it. Shannon said, Hev, it was the chair. Honestly, what was the chair? Menacing said, Ukraine is full of corruption, human child trafficking, organ harvesting, adrenochrome, the list goes on. Deb said, I've been watching the same thing you sent me. Alex said, yeah, I remember. I dread to think what else is on Wiener's laptop and Hunter's. It all needs to be brought to light. Lee Tuttle, how you going? Well, just found you again after 5 years. Good to hear you're still doing good work. We'll watch from H-Town. God love you. Good to see ya. Shannon said, you went to school with Joe Satriani. Zal said, oh, no, menacing the poor victims of that put in menace. Out to lunch said, can't trust Epstein stuff because of the hands it went through. Yeah, exactly. That's what yeah. Donald Hendricks said, we're going to have to do a movie night tonight. I think tomorrow night, definitely. Because today I've got a bit to do. I've got to go on. I've prepared, and I should have videoed it. Oh, dear God. I made some really good sourdough breads the last couple of days, and I'm making a cinnamon swirl and raisin sour bread right now. See how that goes. I'm going to make a chocolate cherry sourdough tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. Next week sometime. This time I'll try and remember to get the camera out and video it because I just keep forgetting to get a camera out and video what I'm doing. So, yeah, we'll do a movie night tomorrow because I've got a few things to do today. Oh, cat's in here. You're not hearing some cat noises, are you? Because I just heard some cat noises. I think one's under the bed doing... What are you doing? Okay, one's beside me. J1 said even the watchers of the Book of Enoch preferred their own company, if you know what I mean. Shannon said they can change the sex in the womb. They want to corrupt our souls. Yeah, Baphomet idealised. Yeah, idolised. Shirley. Alex said best just to watch and see everything objectively, otherwise it becomes really difficult and draining. That's what I like to do. I like to sit back and watch and see how things pan out. Because what you think in the beginning may not be what you find in the end. But I'm open to it, and as long as I get the proof of the truth, I'm fine. Proof of the truth, okay? J1 said Nicole Kidman was tampered with in the womb by her father. Zal said the racists involved with the deception of mankind are far past the heinous stage. Shannon said they think they get more power from imitating the Baphomet. They make the best vessels for demonic possession. Deb said, I don't think we have a plan to movie. Not tonight, no, tomorrow. Sounds good. Shirley said people will be shocked at Hollywood when they discover who's really which sex. Yep. Conchega said Nicole Kidman was born a male. How you going, Conchega? Shannon said Brad Pitt is one. Yeah, I've heard that. Out to Lunch said Gattaca is a movie of bioengineered human, but there are some true bloods that can't really compete with the bioengineered people. That's what they were planning. Alex said, I was thinking that would be nice to have another movie night. Yeah. Conchega said, Shannon, they all are. Sal said, J1, if Fiona Barnett is correct, Nicole Kidman was forced to watch and participate in the cabal rights. Shirley said Brad, which explains Jennifer Aniston, rumour, male. Shannon said most of Hollywood is they want us to follow the stars, yes. Deb said Fish was a child eater, Madonna in the bath singing and fish. Yeah, she was singing about fish, wasn't she? Shannon said Maniston. Sal said stars are fake lights in a projected sky, Shannon. Conchega said correct, a 5-year-old boy. Out to Lunch said Grok looked at Q board and said it's nothing and says Pizzagate's a hoax. Yeah, Grok is right sometimes and wrong other times. I don't know. Deb said we've not heard from Fiona in a while. Conchega said, hey, Zal, how you going? Yeah, Shannon said Grok says what it's programmed to say. Alex said we're all living in the twilight zone as it is, though, yeah. Zal said next gig in April, just getting the new drummer up to speed. Deb said nothing can save Andrew now, not a prince. Shirley said Sandra Bullock, Megan Fox, they're all fake. Sandy said, Shannon, it seems I was programmed by psychopaths, malignant narcissists and pedos. It looks like that to me. Yeah, that's what we were all programmed by if these people ran everything. Shannon said, the waters above. Sal said, out to lunch. You're also correct. Some of them are also entities and others portals. Conchega said, Shirley, pics are showing him with a beard and bodyguards. Deb said, we was asking Timmy about how you change after death. Sandy said, not me, AI, but heck, I may well have been. Shirley said, Ian, protective custody. Out to lunch, said that guy flew over the pyramid and Giza should fly over Zorro Ranch and find tunnels. Yep. Yeah, Zal said they're depraved have. Yeah, I know. Shannon said George Clooney is a woman heaps. Zal said the reveal will be glorious. Shirley said Clooney supporting anti-ICE movement. Yeah, there you go. Out to lunch said we should have a live where we share our favourite channels and content curators. Yeah. A male is a man. Yeah, Clooney's wife, I've heard that too. Shannon said they told you Epstein didn't kill himself. Zal said Sibley 22 on Rumble out to lunch. Out to lunch said Trump just had his dog party though. Conchega said, Shannon, the clavicles give it away and the digit ration and head size, arm length, people are going to go crazy with some of their favourite actors are outed. Sandy said, yeah, that dog party was creepy. What's with that? Dog normally pops up when someone's about to be arrested. Or oft. J1 said Somerset Belanoff gave permission for the secure operation to go ahead. R.E. Glam's calling. Yeah, could have been, or could just be trying to jump on the bandwagon because it came out after. So who knows? Sandy said, I heard that Canada's the original land of Canaan. The land of the canine where the dog-headed people lived. Yeah, most billionaires own islands, yep. Alex said Andy Pandy was made to leave his state home in the middle of the night during the week, Deb. Should have left with dignity, but didn't. Sandy said, I'm sure I witnessed a child being trafficked in 2009, but I didn't know what I was looking at. Strange feeling never left me. Now I know. Kinchega said, look at his early stuff with Snarky to his latest. Linda does not have anything to do with him now. Who are we talking about here? Joanne. Now, how you going? He's alive and a dead man. Was Hillary's brother. Check out the pictures of him. Yes, I have seen it, Joanne, by the way. You don't have to do anything, but yeah, I've just given you just anyone else who's being censored. My mods will tell me anyway. Peg's Place could be like Hitler's death, moved to a different country. Sandy said the boy was about 10. Sandy said they got in Hong Kong and disembarked in Dubai. Yeah, Deb said, yes, Linda, I used to watch. Shannon said the golden threads and reading the satanic verses. Sandy said he clearly didn't know his travelling companion. Sandy said, I totes forgot about Snarky. Out to lunch said, no blacks on Epstein Island. One-way racism saved a life. Yeah, I know. Finally, yeah. But it didn't save them from other people who did especially abusing, you know. Yeah. Oh, mate. Shannon said Courtney Cox is one, also his baby's first introduced through Bruce Springsteen. J1 said Book of the Dead, Initiates of the Flame. Sal said Kinchega, I'm friends with Paul on channel, ignore the other idiots around channel 21. His info's expanded since Snarky, she fell off the perch. Shannon said Cameron Diaz is introduced in The Mask. Out to lunch said you mustn't read from the book. Sal said Kinchega is Paul is one of Channel 21's early friends. He's local to me up the Central Coast. Deb said, so happy to hear Jay-Z and Beyonce are losing followers. Shirley said, Julia, definitely Lady Gaga. Oh, Shirley, well, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to mod or anything. It's just so you don't get censored. Have I forgotten anyone? I probably have. Sorry, guys. I'll get to you if I haven't. J1 said Nicki Minaj must have been given a golden ticket. Shannon said between takes in the Friends show they would all chant Hail Satan, allegedly, yeah. Sal said Bromovic is supposed to be in its 70s, yes. Cherry Lee said the daily rituals. Shannon said that's the man that sacrificed Azaria Chamberlain. Sal said Kinchega, no, he's the one they stir about building fences. Out to lunch said Shannon heard that too, but no one knows. Shannon said we're going to make the Super Bowl look like a puppy show. Deb said, yes, who had the Black Book of Epstein? Was it AT? Yeah, circle back. Isn't that a Saki phrase? Yes, it was. Circle back. She was always going to circle back to things that probably never did. Yeah, Gwen Stefani is supposed to be one of them. Yep. Okay. Out to lunch said fixer is a person that makes something bad just go away like it never happened. Yeah, no, I mean, as in like, not a fixer, but to get in contact with the right people, you know, that type of fixer. That's what they believe Tom Hanks is, a fixer, goes around cleaning up after people. As Al said, they're all too needy. Deb said it was on Netflix. Out to lunch said call girl princess but never sexy. Yeah, little girls. Yeah, you call them princess, but I don't know. Calling little kids like sexy, I don't think that's right. I really don't. Shannon said Tom Hanks is an assassin and a pedo, creepy pictures of shoes and gloves. Yep. Shirley said Cappy said he was sick. Sandy said they pretend they're actually worried for their lives when they're actually worried for their lives. Same as Tom Hanks, Rosie O'Donnell. Would she be in the files, lols? You never know. Deb said Toy Story, not so incident. Oh, where's Madame Medusa? Did I miss her? Oh, there you are. God love you. Good to see you. Shannon said also owned a diner near the Standard Hotel and abattoir to get rid of the bodies and feed people human flesh. Yes, Adam Schiff, what happened at the Standard Hotel? Deb said innocent. Zal said can't wait for major reveal. J1 said the more pure version is chromachrome, that plus they make special tinctures with hormones and other additives. Deb said I look forward to the downfall of Beyonce. Conchega said I used to love his scrawlings all over the wall. Got to the end there. Okay. Zal said, can't wait for the major reveal. J1 said, the more pure... Oh, yeah, I read that one. Where am I up to? Shirley said, human flesh at McDonald's. If you buy a fillet of fish, right? Is that... Because you know what a fillet of fish... You know a fillet of fish is fish. Out to lunch that Beyonce is no good. Shannon said, EpiPen pen. There's that tone again. So it's only because of your comments sometimes, Shannon. I go, Shannon. No, but wouldn't be a show without you, Shannon, seriously. Out to lunch that Ask Rock what a Drino is. She released a Taylor Swift, make how I know he is destroying our youth. Yeah, Shannon Rudd has, Kevin Rudd, our ambassador to America, wore red shoes. Conchega said, if anyone's interested, here's a link to one of the Epstein files referencing our politicians. Yes, I read one the other day, and I was like, someone said Mark Carney, and it wasn't. It was all of our politicians. I've already searched that one. Shirley, I'm a believer of that too. 1 billion served to us. Sandy said, don't tell me that, Shannon. I can't come back from the earwax incident. Conchega said, if it has an apple, it's had a banana. Shirley said, yeah, not enough cattle. Yeah, Shannon, pedivores. Conchega said, Macca's slogan, over 1 billion served. Cassandra said, I'm back. Apologies, had to ditch to handle new band comms. Going to jump and get some outdoor walking in. We'll re-listen later. Much love. You too, Cassandra. Shannon said, Gates is one his wife has been swapped out. Looks the old picture of Melinda. Looks completely different. Yes. Deb said 1930 and whom started making adrenochrome? Dole said, I think they are just all evil. Cassandra said, FYI, red flag exercises in Vegas this week and next with nearby military airfield, 2 minutes, mechanical earthquake at 2 a.m. this morning. Trippy. Wow. Menacing Muskrat said any of them that received Obama's Nobel Peace Prize are in the club. Melinda Gates received one of the medals and wore it proudly. She's more involved than she's letting on. I believe that too, actually, Menacing Muskrat. Shannon put a video in there and said, watch this, Yowie. Shirley said, use common sense. AI is really real. Sal said, you're on Question 21 Telegram channel. Sal, Alex said, have you seen the document where someone's created a clone of Jeffrey's email box where you can search his emails like Google and also photos? I think it's still being uploaded to have. Oh, really? Shannon said, Time Magazine Nobel Peace Prize is from the cabal. Yes. Alex said, I've had to go on my phone briefly as my laptop kept freezing. Alex said, I'll be back on my laptop in a minute, let it cool down, even though it was freezing. Deb said, no more sweeping things under the rug anymore. Yes. Shannon said, love you, Muskie. Deb said, I don't think King Charles will be here for long. Yes. Alex said, that sounds yummy. Yeah. Cool tomorrow. Cool for tomorrow. Have a watch with me tomorrow. Hopefully Timmy can join us. Haven't seen him around today. Hopefully he can. What are you talking about, Shannon? Cat noises. Okay. What's a queef? I've never heard of it. Deb said, I just watched them before and you sent them. Snap. Fart noise sounds. Where? It's not me hitting the microphone with my cheek, is it? That doesn't sound like a fart. I don't know. But no one's farting. Not even the cats. I can't hear anything. Unless the YouTube are doing it to me. They've stuck AI in there somewhere. I don't know. There's been no fart sounds on my end. Alex said, hey, Mr. Smiggles and Bella, hopefully they haven't come back with any more snakes. No, I shut the window at night now so they can't get in and out. I've got to get up and let them in and out the door again. So I'm waking up during the night again. Where's Cobra Kai? Said Shannon. Oh, I don't know. Hope he's all right. Deb said, I like Sunday better. Oh, no, now I'm hungry. Shannon said, Gattaca's a good movie. Conchega said, catch your next one, peeps. Hopefully catch it a bit earlier. Yeah, Shannon, fried fish Madonna was singing about. Kai said he's watching from the shadows. Oh, there's Kai. Alex said, hopefully he's just listening, cooking some lovely dinner. Deb said, yes, Hev, how are we going to see Hev's adventures if you don't film it? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I just keep forgetting to turn the bloody video on. Then I'm nearly at the end of cooking and go, oh, I should turn the video on. Menacing said the veil is thinning though, Alex, Book of Revelation. Yeah, thumbs it up, please, guys. Yeah, Deb, Timmy, Alex, movie. Alex said, yes, definitely think so, menacing. Kai said, I had a 21-hour day yesterday. I'm still dragging. Oh, no. Shannon said, Zorro Ranch is huge and surrounded by nothing for hundreds of miles. Shannon said 21 Jump Street, hardly jumping, kind of staggering. Out to lunch said Shannon, yes, some folks have it like that. I would too. Shannon said must have been rough being a Canaanite. What? Rough being a Canaanite. Sherilyn needs a ranch. Yes, I think I gave her one, didn't I? Did I? I'm sure I did. No, not Ruff the dog. Just he's put Ruff, spelt it the wrong way. Rough. Shannon said, yes, dog comms. Kai said, I've been sitting here in the shadows with the axe drawn, waiting for the real troll. Shannon said, with his song about pedos dancing in the dark. Deb said, so glad I've been awake for a long time. Even as a young person, I just felt things were wrong. Yep. Out to lunch said, you mustn't read from the book, you know the movie. Kai said, okay, now we do all realise the world ran on this shit and we're about to end it. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Kai said, it's going to be a rough ride for a while. Where are we? Out to lunch said, I've seen the opening ceremony. That dude looks like a lady. Shannon said, I'm on fire. Courtney Cox is dancing in the dark clip. Alex said, I know, I think this. And say it to my mum sometimes. It's well, no wonder God's coming back to destroy it all. Sick world. Yeah, Deb, it's all against God, this evil. Shannon said, Biden used Bruce Springsteen. Out to lunch said, Cox, I never listened to it. Shannon said, type of cat noise is a queef. Oh. Okay, thanks for that, Shannon. I don't know, my cats snore, but I don't hear anything. Alex said, Timmy will be at work and you just finished 15 minutes ago, Hev. Yeah. Okay, thank you guys for letting me know what that is. I didn't need to know that. It's a real word. What? Okay. Alex said, take care, God bless, see you soon, Conchega. I'm trying to find a comment that's not Yeah, Donald said he heard no farts on his end. I don't know what you're talking about. I really don't. Okay. Deb said he must be busy. Our Timmy. Okay. Going past all those comments. Deb said, I've been following Rachel Vaughan for a few years. Yeah, I am proofreading Shannon. Out to lunch to the mummy of one of the better movies. I think Brandon Fraser did it. You said you heard cat noises, Have. Yeah, I hear my cat beside me, like breathing deep and making a noise every now and then, but nothing like... There should not be anything else going on. I can't hear at my end, so I don't know if it's being inserted, which I doubt. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I'm not talking about that anymore. Thank you very much, guys. Anyway, I'll come back tomorrow, right? And see you then without all this, I don't know what the hell, because, see, I'm not up on all this, you know, new language and what these things are. I don't know. So, yeah, thank you, guys. I didn't need to know that. But anyway, okay, I hope you have a good one, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow. Catch you soon. I want to say something, but I don't know what to say. Bye, guys.